Good evening, football fans, and welcome to the fourth episode of the EFL Fans Head-to-Head Quiz. Today it is a local derby, but mostly because they are both from the same podcast. It is Keiron, Newport fan, and Jordan of Grimsby Town fan from the Fourth Tier Fever podcast, the excellent Fourth Tier Fever podcast. Gents, are you well?
Living the dream, man.
Living the
Full of the
dream.
dominoes. Having to talk League Two football. Everyone's favourite, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm okay
Well,
myself, thanks.
well, as far as Jordan's concerned, he won't want to be in League Two next year, will he? So,
Well, no, it'd be nice, if we can maybe, get, have that little, push that little bit further in these last couple of games, and anything is possible in the past, but we need to get there first. So we'll take it a step at a time. But right now we're League Two, so
League Two, indeed.
Keep firmly, feet firmly on the ground. I think for now.
All right. Well, as I said, you're both experts in the League Two sort of hierarchy, but of course you're going up to head today in an EFL quiz. How do you both feel you're quizzing? Who's got the edge?
Probably not me, truth be told. You're going to be asking me these ones on the spot, and yeah, don't know whether the brain's going to go up with this one, but we'll give it our best shot.
And Jordan, what do you reckon?
I guess we'll have to see, won't we? I like to think I know a little bit about League Two in particular. I might be a little bit rubbish with like everything else on top of that, but I don't know. This is the ultimate truth, really. So only we'll know after this if I'm any good or not. Probably not.
Well,
if it's anything that at times to go by, but we'll see.
Let's just refresh the way it works then for those listening as well. So we're going to do 5 questions each on your teams. So you're going to have 5 questions on Grimsby and Newport respectively. Then we're going to flip things around, and Keiron, you'll be asked 5 Grimsby Town questions, and Jordan 5 Newport County questions. And then at the end there'll be 5 questions each on all things EFL across the 72 clubs, or the 70 clubs if you discount yours. But they will be from this season only, so nothing too, historic. So hopefully there'll be stuff that you can recall. And then at the end of it, if it's a tiebreaker, then there'll be a tiebreak question in the form of the nearest answer to. Not had to use it so far, but we will probably do it anyway, just as a bit of a fun question at the end if there is an outright winner. And then at the end, we'll have a little bit of a chat about your clubs before we sign off the evening. Jordan, as Town are higher up in the pyramid than Newport County, you're going to go first. That's just the way it goes. So okay. Are you ready for your first Grimsby Town question?
Oh, let's do it.
Okay. So the question categories are remaining the same as previous rounds. So your first question will be entitled In the Dugout. Are you ready to go?
Let's go for it.
Okay. Number 1. Michael Jolly was appointed manager in March 2018, shortly after experiencing relegation from the top division in which European country?
That'd be Sweden.
Sweden is correct. He's off the mark. Keiron, over to you. Again, the same category. Michael Flynn is Newport's longest serving manager since their promotion to the Football League. But in what year did he help the club out of the Conference Premier as a player?
As a player, the 2012-2013 season.
That is correct. 1 apiece. Easy does it. Number 2 for you, Jordan, is the numbers game. During your season back in the National League in 21-22, Wembley match winner Jordan Maguire-Drew wore what number on the back of his shirt?
I remember this because he changed it in the EFL, but in the National League, he was number 25.
25. Good knowledge.
He was number 7 when we came up.
There you go. So that's the thing. That was the key, wasn't it? It was the National League season I was asking for.
Yeah.
Stuff. And to you, Keiron, number 2. Which squad number was originally taken by Josh Sheehan during his initial loan spell with the club and the 2 seasons afterwards before he became number 10 in 2019?
Oh, you horrible, horrible man.
I am. Only 2 questions in.
Because I remember he had a very obscure number, but because I do recall Josh Ian from that number 10. Oh, dearie me. It's initial loan spell. That's mental.
He had the same number for the loan spell and the 2 seasons afterwards.
See, I don't only remember him as a number 10. That's horrible. That's an horrible question. I'll throw a random number into the dark. 32. I don't know.
Half it, 16.
Let's see. That's an horrible. I don't only recall him as a number 10. See, that's horrible.
I'm a horrible kind of guy. That's fine. I'll take
Horrible.
that. Jordan, your third question is only the loanees, the lone players question.
Oh God, this could be a nightmare with the amount of players we've had that have been awful.
During the 16-17 season, which goalkeeper was recalled by his parent club after making just 7 appearances for the Mariners after stepping in for James McKeown?
Yeah, I remember this because I banged the drum for ages that season that he should have played more, and of course he's gone on to have, not a bad career since they're playing in the Premier League regularly. That would be Dean Henderson.
Dean Henderson. You forget, don't you? Well, you don't, obviously, but that Dean Henderson would play in the League Two for, not even 10 years ago. Look at where he is now.
That's bizarre.
Keiron, your loanee question. Which current League Two striker scored twice in 19 games during a loan spell at Newport in the second half of the 22-23 season?
Current League Two, right?
Mm-hmm.
22, 23. I'm trying to think what strikers we had. He would have been on loan
twice in 19 appearances. So not prolific.
Yeah, prolific. Twice in 19. 22, 23. That isn't even that long ago.
He's crumbling.
I am crumbling. I'm under pressure here.
I'll give you a bit of time.
22, 23 season. I'll tell you the only one I can remember. But there's no way he's in League Two. Because I'm pretty sure he got recalled. Shankar Zimba got recalled. There's no way it's him. Oh, this is horrible. Yeah, I am fumbling under pressure. Why can't I... You're going to be in this answer and it's going to wind me up. The only one I can think of is Shankar Zimba, but I don't even think he scored for us.
Are you waving the white flag?
I might have to wave the white flag at that one. This is horrible. Say the name and I'm gonna be proper wound up.
The name was Callum Kavanagh.
Oh, he's a Bradford. Why have I done that? I forgot about him. Yeah, because he joined from Middlesbrough after doing absolutely nothing for Harrogate. Why couldn't I? Oh, I'm fuming.
I had no idea myself.
Only 3 questions in. It's going to get worse. Well, hopefully it doesn't get worse for you. Number 4 for you, Jordan, is one of your own. Harry Clifton was Grimsby's top scorer in the 22-23 season with 7 league goals. But against which side did he score in both legs of an FA Cup replay?
Just trying to think who he played. I mean, we played one team in one replay, and that was Luton. Yeah, that was Luton Town.
Correct, Luton Town.
Someone tells me I might lose this to Jordan here. This is terrible. I knew I'd crumble under pressure. I was sat here thinking just before we hopped on, I was like, this isn't going to be mine. This ain't my game.
Well, don't give up yet, Keiron. We've still got a long way to go. One of your own. This is a multiple choice question for you. So you've got a choice of 3, I guess, in this one. One of your own. Keban Rai made his first start for the club on the final day of the 22-23 season against which current League Two side? Was it A, Colchester, B, Crewe, or C, Carlisle?
Crewe.
Crewe is correct. He's back in the game.
That's all I remember. There we go. I think we lost 2-1 that day, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, and Jordan, can you make it a clean sweep for Grimsby Town questions? This is your playing away question. Grimsby reached the FA Cup quarter-finals in 2023 before being beaten 5-0 by Brighton at the Amex. Which Brighton player scored a brace in that game?
Ooh, I'm just trying to think who got it. Who scored? I've got a sneaky suspicion it was Evan Ferguson.
Final answer?
I'm going to say it. Yeah.
That's the correct answer. Suspicion was good.
He wasn't going to get that wrong. He never shuts up about that FA Cup run.
Well, not the Brighton game. No, that's all. No,
yeah, fair dues.
Yeah.
Okay, and Keiron, your last question is playing away. Which player, no longer at the club, scored a 93rd minute winner in a 1-0 victory at Doncaster Rovers last season?
Seb Palmer Holden.
Said with conviction, it was correct. Said Palmer Holden.
I was at
So
that game as well. Unreal.
Jordan of 5 plays Keiron of 3, and it's now going to be reversed. So it's going to be answering questions on each other's teams. Feeling confident?
No.
Not at all, no.
I
Don't
know
have a look at Grimsby.
At least you're both in the same boat. Okay. So, Jordan, your first Newport County question. Bit of a long one. Newport were beaten by extra time winners in consecutive League Two playoff finals. Thanks to goals from Connor Jennings for Tranmere in 2019 and Carlos Mendes Gomez for which side 2 years later?
That would be Morecambe. It's only because I know that because Keiron was on about it when Morecambe went down the other day about something about the playoff final with Morecambe, and that's where I know it from. So yeah,
It's not the only thing that inhibits you. You both talk about these games all the time, and now you've got to answer questions on them.
I just gotta say, I will forever reinstate this: the worst penalty call of all time.
They both 1-0 as well. They're Tranmere and Morecambe. They're both 1-0 wins.
Yeah, they were both 1-0s. Yeah.
Kind of Wembley and not scoring.
The Tranmere one was arguably worse because we were all over them for the entire game. But that Morecambe one, if you haven't watched the penalty decision that we had given against us, go watch it. It's infuriating.
It must still hurt then by the sounds of it in your voice. It's still
yeah, it doesn't. The second you mentioned that, I was like, I know where this is going.
Yeah. Okay, Keiron, your first Grimsby Town question. Which player scored from his own half as Grimsby went ahead away at Harrogate on April 12th?
He doesn't shut up about this. If I'm not mistaken, Keiron Green.
Keiron Green is correct. I was going to say,
he does not shut up about that goal. He does not shut up about that goal.
What a goal that was, eh?
The best goal I've ever seen, and I don't care. It was unbelievable. Wow.
I bet he couldn't do it again, eh?
Yeah, I swear he tried that the other day, actually. Yeah,
Jordan, your second Newport County question is a multiple choice question.
Okay.
Goals from Bryn Morris and which now departed striker levelled the score at 2-2 in an FA Cup fourth round tie against Manchester United last season? Was it A, Omar Bogle, B, Will Evans, or C, Ofrande Zanzala?
I don't think it was Bogle. And judging by what Keiron said, that Zanzala was never fit. I think Will Evans is the obvious choice because of how good he was for Newport. Was it last season? Yeah, I'd probably say Will Evans.
Yeah, Evans is correct.
What a moment. Unreal.
The limbs, I'm going to assume.
Take me back.
Keiron, your second Grimsby Town question. In November 23, who did David Artell replace as Grimsby manager?
Who did David? Paul Hurst.
Paul Hurst. The diminutive Paul Hurst is correct. 2 for 2.
What a terrible manager call that was in hindsight.
Question number 3 for you, Jordan, on Newport County. Kyle Hudlin is currently on loan at Rodney Parade from which side, having joined them from Solihull Moors in July 2022?
I mean, he's my favourite Newport County player for obvious reasons. I can see the grin on Kieran's face after I've mentioned that. He's on loan from Huddersfield Town.
Correct, and he still scored at Priestfield this season. The man with the turning circle.
It could be worse. It could be worse with us at Solihull. He scored 5 goals all season and in all comps, and 3 of them were against us. So it could be worse.
It was a good finish, I remember, from Kyle Hudlin against you lot as well.
It was a good finish. He somehow turned and scored.
Yeah, it was bizarre. I've never seen a 6'9" man move that quick. It was really impressive.
Had a penalty save against us as well.
Don't remind me.
Keiron, your third Grimsby Town question. In 2017, which striker, familiar with Newport supporters, finished up as top scorer during Grimsby's first season back in League Two since 2010?
Oh, what a man. Big old Podge. Patrick Hammond, what a baller. He's a baller. What a player. Familiar with Newport. See if that or Bogle. Ooh, now you put me in a different reality now. It's one of the two. I've just realised. 2017. Was he there in 20? Oh, you horrible man.
Good. That's what I'm
No, because
aiming for.
they were nearby the same time as well. Did you say it was in the National League?
The first season back in League Two since
First
promotion.
season back in League Two. So I remember Bogle bowled out in the National League. Did he do the same? Oh, I have to flip a coin now. This is horrible.
This is why I
I'm
love
going
doing this.
Bogle. I've got to go Bogle. I've got to go Bogle now. I've changed my
Thank
mind.
God for that. Yeah, Bogle.
Oh,
That's annoying. I thought you were going to
no, because Amond was with us 2 seasons after that.
Yeah,
You were so sure, though, weren't you? You were
I
so
was
sure.
I was sure at the time,
Just-
but then I realised halfway through. Wait, that's near the that Bogle season with Grimsby. Yeah.
just I remember it. Podge was there for only the 15-16 season. He scored like 32 goals or something.
Yeah,
Bogle,
and
like 17.
Bogle did well as well, didn't he? That's what I
Yeah.
remember.
And then Bogle was with us for the first half of that season. He got like 19 goals in the first half of the season.
Yeah, there we go.
So,
I'm so glad I changed that.
Me too, because it would have been hard to break that news to you if you'd gone with your gut.
Oh, if it wasn't Podge, I would have been so sad.
Jordan, your fourth question on Newport County is as follows: which attacker scored a 30-minute first half hat trick as Newport romped into a 3-0 lead at home to Gillingham on March the 4th?
First half hat trick, Gillingham. Is it Bobby Camera?
I'm afraid it was. Yeah, Bobby Camera. Yeah.
Yep.
Watching that on TV was excruciating.
I have to think about that one. Actually.
Why do you not remember that one? I didn't shut up about the free kick for about 2 weeks.
Well,
Keiron, here is your multiple choice question on Newport County. No, sorry, you know me, Grimsby Town. Otherwise, you know.
It was Newport then. I might have got it.
Grimsby were knocked out of the FA Cup in the first round this season, beaten at home by which non-league side? Was it A, Wealdstone, B, Weymouth, or C, Woking?
I remember this one, Wealdstone.
I need people, don't I? I need people that don't know each other to do these questions.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was miserable.
Hold on, I've just realised I've got more questions right about Grimsby than I have about Newport. Oh my life! I've just realised that.
Blame the questions, I think. You're
no,
fine.
It's annoyed me. The Callum Cavanagh one, that's going to be in my dreams now. That one's wound me up.
Good, that's what I'm here for. And your last question, Jordan, on Newport County. Jaden Warner signed on a free transfer in the January window, but he spent the second half of last season on loan at which League Two side?
Ooh. It's a tough one, actually.
I will be fair, that's a tough question, you know.
I remember I've got a vague memory of someone that I knew at uni going on about him when he signed. It was very vague. I want to say it's Notts County.
You are correct. It's Notts County. Only made 8 appearances, but still counts.
Oh, that's good, that, Jordan. Fair play.
I'm proud of that one.
That was good.
As it stands, Jordan's 10 for 10. Don't want to tempt fate, but that's the highest we've had so far.
That Callum Cavanagh one set me up for failing.
I wouldn't have had a clue either, as I said earlier, to be fair on that one.
Keiron, your last town question is as follows. In 2023, whilst playing for Grimsby, midfielder Otis Khan was called up to represent which Asian nation?
It's a big part of me that wants to say Gambia, but then I'm also saying are they from Asia? Am I thinking the wrong team here?
I'll live with you. Gambia's in Africa, so don't do it.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there a different... Oh, wait.
Otis Khan, 2023.
Otis Khan. He's not at Grimsby yet. Didn't he go to Swindon? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
No, that's not him.
That's a different... Oh, that's
Saidu Khan, yeah.
Saidu Khan.
Yeah. No, this was the one that you didn't shut up about for a while, right?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Not me.
I'm not going to lie with you. Yeah, maybe my Grimsby knowledge isn't that good.
You've got Asia's quite quite big. Give me a nation.
That doesn't help at all. You know what? Should I just throw a random country at you and just hope it's right? No, I'll just throw a random Asian country at you. Yeah, I've given up. Indonesia. It's not Indonesia, but I'm throwing Indonesia at you.
It's not Jordan. Do you know it? Just for fun.
I remember this because the influx of their fans that just came to our pages right after, like it was announced, and for the rest of this time here was pretty mad. He represents Pakistan.
Pakistan is correct. Yeah, he's English born and bred, but I think he's got Pakistani somewhere in the family. So, as it stands,
I'm not gonna lie to you, I was never gonna get that because the only Grimsby player that I can remember, I think he represents Sierra Leone or someone along those lines. And that was that was someone you didn't shut up about for a good while.
Yeah, I don't care about him now.
He's gone now, yeah. Okay, so guys, as it stands, we've got Jordan with a clean sweep on 10 out of 10, and Keiron is currently on 7 out of 10, but the EFL round can throw up some anomalies. On this one, I'm going to ask you each your own questions, but if you don't know the answer or you get it wrong, the other player can steal the answer off of you and get the point. So be on your vigilant best, because you might get a chance to come in and swoop and steal the answer. Jordan, are you ready for your first question on the EFL?
Let's have a go.
Okay, and it's a multiple choice question to start off with, so nice and a nice gentle intro there. Who is currently top scorer for Watford in the Championship this season, including scoring 4 in a 6-2 away win at Sheffield Wednesday in November? Is it A, Edo Kayembe, B, Vakun Bayo, or C, Kwadwo Bar? I deliberately picked some names.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've seen. Is it Bayo's name a lot? Is that his name? The second one?
Yes, Vakun Bayo was the second one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for him, but that's just a complete guess.
It's the right one. The unbeaten run continues. Keiron, your first question.
Been reading books ahead of this one. I'm fuming.
Unless he's been reading my phone, he's not been reading it. So yeah. Next up, Keiron, your first question is: defender Sam Hughes was cup-tied for the Virtue Motors Trophy final at Wembley, having already played in the competition for which side earlier on in the season?
Sam Hughes. Why can't I think of who he plays for?
So obviously it's Peterborough in the final, but
yeah. But why can't I think of who he played for before? Is he even going to be? I've in theory got a 1 in 40 chance here. God, I'm realizing my EFL knowledge is terrible, isn't it?
I blame the questions personally.
I mean, I'm not going to blame the questions. I'm going to blame myself, and I'm going to blame the question on this one because I could not care less about this tournament. Sam Hughes just screams Northampton for some reason, and I don't know why. It's wrong, I'm sure.
If you give me an answer, then Jordan can steal it away. So make sure you're.
Yeah, you know what? I'll let Jordan steal it. I'm just going to throw Northampton at you.
I'm afraid it's not Northampton. Jordan, do you know it?
I think I do. I've got 2 clubs in mind. I remember him at Burton, I believe, but I also remember him at Stockport. I don't think there's a way that Burton would have loaned him out this season for the way he's on. I want to say Stockport County.
The first steal underway. It was in Stockport County. Right, signed for Burton in summer.
Unreal.
Here we go.
That's
maybe my knowledge is better than what I thought.
Maybe mine's significantly worse than what I thought.
Jordan, your second question. Andrew Dallas has scored goals in loan spells at Barrow and Morecambe this season, but who is his parent club?
Parent club? I remember when we wanted him in the National League, it just never came off. I think he was picked up by Barnsley. I think he's had a few loan spells. I think he's been back up in Scotland since as well, before Morecambe and Barrow. Yeah, I want to say Barnsley because I remember him scoring in one of the their first games in League One. Was it last season or so? Yeah, Barnsley.
Correct, Barnsley. Okay.
I can't believe this. He's on fire.
He's on fire. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a warning coming up for you now. So, Keiron, your next question is which two? Oh, it's a League Two one. Which two League Two sides have the Robins as their nickname?
The Robins is their nickname. Swindon and Cheltenham.
Correct. Swindon and Cheltenham. The only other one in the EFL are Bristol City in the Championship. Jordan, question number 3 for you. Goalkeeper Marco Morosi signed for which League One side on a short-term deal in January after his Plymouth contract expired?
I have no idea.
There's a 1 in 24 chance then.
Marco Morosi. I'm just trying to think of the clubs. I don't think it. I mean, Crawley had been through so many goalkeepers. I don't know. 1 in 20. I'm just trying to think. It's a complete guess. Shrewsbury.
He was there before, but this wasn't the right one. He was there 3 years back. Keiron, do you know it?
I'm in the same boat, yeah. My mind was originally drifting to Shrewsbury, but you've told me that's wrong.
Yeah,
so then my
a couple of years back.
My mind is now drifting between two clubs who have just signed a ridiculous amount of players. So I am drifting between Crawley and Burton, and off of the off chance that because of how many keepers Crawley have had, I'm gonna just say Crawley.
Whereas Cambridge United.
Oh,
Cambridge. Yeah, fair enough. I wouldn't have got that.
Equally as obscure.
All I would have known is that he played for like a team, towards that bottom end of the table. That's about all I know.
I don't think he's played much for them, but yeah, he was picked up there all the same. Keiron, next question for you. Which Sheffield United midfielder ruptured his ACL in the Steel City derby against Sheffield Wednesday in November?
Dear me. First of all, that's an awful injury. This was the one Steel City derby that all I can remember from the game was that it was absolutely awful. There's only 2 Sheffield midfielders I'm thinking of. And I believe they're both Coventry. They were both former Coventry. I'm going to sound absolutely stupid, though, if this one player doesn't play for Sheffield United. But he has an awful injury record. And I'm pretty certain he's moved to them. Callum O'Hare.
It's not Callum O'Hare. He is there, but it's not him.
He is there.
He's
got an awful injury record because I remember Callum, one of our buddies, used to talk about him all the time.
Jordan, any idea to steal?
A part of me hopes you sort of got that right because again, I don't know. I'll go for the other Coventry midfielder. I think that Keiron is sort of. I think he was alluding to. I'm going to Gustavo Hamer. I don't know.
No, it's Ollie Arblaster.
Oh yeah, of course. Because he's
done a few
bits on Sky, isn't he? Yeah, that's where I've seen him from.
Yeah,
wow.
So I think he was out.
I didn't even know he still played football. I thought he had just gone into. Well, yeah. To be fair, I would have never got that.
Okay, question 4 is a multiple choice one for you. Oh no, wrong one. Sorry, ignore me. That's next up for you, Keiron. Jordan, your next question is as follows. Which of Burnley's defenders was nominated in the EFL Championship Young Player of the Season award category?
Defender. I'm just trying to think of who they've got. I'm not sure how young he is. I've got a name in mind, but I'm not sure if he's I don't think he's that young. I'm going to go for him because I think he's played quite a bit. No, he's not there. No, I'm just going to say no. CJ Egan-Riley.
Oh, good shout. That's correct. CJ Egan-Riley.
That was the one I was thinking of, but I could not think of his name. I knew it was O'Reilly. I didn't know that the letters at the start.
Signed for Man City for 400k. A decent move considering how well we've done this season. Next up for you, Kieran, it's a multiple choice question. Ironic one coming up. Wrexham winger Jacob Mendy and striker Mo Farl both represent which African nation at international level? Is it Guinea, Gambia, or Gabon?
Thanks for making this question about Wrexham. Gambia, I think.
Yeah, one's Gambia. Yeah, Gambia is correct.
Yeah.
Can't believe Gambia's come up twice in this quiz so far. How about that?
Why was I saying? Oh, that's bizarre.
But
I
I
said
just can't earlier.
Yeah, I wrote this can.
Wrexham on the brain, eh?
No, far from. I was hoping you
Um,
were going to ask a question about, the league, the conference playoff final. You didn't do that. Very upsetting.
I did about the first one, didn't I? About the Michael Flynn 2013 one. So that
Oh
kind
yeah, but
Yeah.
you should have asked which team did we beat. That would have made
Oh.
me. That would have made me better.
of. Last question for you, Jordan, on the EFL is as follows. Goalkeeper Will Norris signed for Wickham on deadline day and made his first appearance in the league on February 15th. What was the name of the keeper who wasn't ever present in the Chairboys lineup until Norris's arrival? Basically, who did Will Norris succeed as Wickham first choice goalkeeper?
I have no idea. Absolutely none. Wickham goalkeeper. I'm not sure if it's obvious or not. I don't know.
Must admit, it's a name that I hadn't heard of until this season, so potentially not.
I don't have a clue. I genuinely don't.
Kieran, do you have an idea?
The only Wickham player I ever associate with Wickham is back in Fenway. I believe it's Luke Leahy. But
It wasn't him.
Luke Leahy, the player who does not play in goal. I don't have a clue. That Wickham. Do I just? No, I don't have a clue. Are you going to say the name that's going to wind me up?
Yeah, the name was Franco Ravizoli.
Yeah, I would have never got that. Would have
never
got that. Never.
Fair enough. There we go. Probably the most luxurious name you've ever found in a Wickham team, that's for sure. Ravizoli. Anyway, last question for you, Kieran, on the EFL before we go into the end of the quiz. Which player dropped down to League One to join former manager Nathan Jones at Charlton in the summer after having worked with him previously at Luton Town?
He's a midfielder. Basil. Luke. Is it Luke Berry?
Luke Berry is correct.
Take that.
Okay. So let me just
announce that Jordan beat me.
Yeah, it's important to make it fair and all that sort of stuff. So Kieran comes in with a score of 9, but Jordan is the winner with a score of 14. Because he got that one steal as well. So 14 out of 15, 16 really in total. Congrats, Jordan. Relatively clear winner, but enjoyable nonetheless to watch. Do you want the tiebreak question as well? Because I quite like these ones. So
may as well.
Yeah,
may as well.
That Kavanagh one. I have to mention it again. Oh,
you'll be tossing and turning, won't you, later on?
I will be.
Right, this is a nearest answer to question. Okay, so the EFL season begun on Friday, the 9th of August, 2024. But how many of the 72 EFL clubs have the same manager today that they begun the season with?
That's a good question,
That's a good question.
Of course, it changed this morning. So how many teams have still got the same manager in charge that they started with in August?
I'm trying to think of what teams in League Two have changed first and then kind of figure it out that way.
Yeah, just sort of taking it as we go along. I don't want to spend too long, so I might just whack out on random.
I'll ask you, Jordan. I'll ask you first of all, Jordan, and then Kieran can come in with his.
Because we'll be all day. I'm going to say, I don't know, 44.
44. Kieran, any advance on 44?
No, I'm thinking of it from a League Two
Trying to work it
aspect.
out.
I'm trying to. I'm sure. Well, I say that I'm not going to name obviously every single club and manager, but I'm trying to think of it in the concept of right. If I just take the managers out of League Two and then times it by three, maybe I'm alright. Even though that's not how it works. But even then, my brain's going between. Oh yeah, Swindon have lost a manager, and Carlisle have. Yeah, that's going to take forever if I was to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that low. I'm thinking it's it's closer to like in that 50-60 range. I'm going to go 52.
It's 36.
Wow.
Half the clubs have got in now with a new manager. Or in some cases, two new managers. In our case, I'll quickly run through the clubs, or so there's 10 in the Championship. Burnley, Bristol City, Leeds, Borough, Portsmouth, QPR, both Sheffield teams, Sunderland and Watford. 10 in League One, Birmingham, Charlton, Exeter, Orient, Lincoln, Mansfield, Posh, Stevenage, Stockport, and Wrexham, and 16 in League Two. So only only 8 clubs have removed managers in
Yeah.
that
Okay.
time.
So my math did not work then at all.
Okay.
Right.
Accrington, Wimbledon, Bradford, Bromley, Cheltenham, Chesterfield, Colchester, Crewe, Donny, Grimsby, Harrogate, Morecambe, Notts, Port Vale, Salford, and Stadlers at Walsall. So half the teams. I was surprised at
Mm.
League Two because you just imagined that League Two is going to chop and change. I mean, we've had 3 managers this season as it is, and that's
That's that's what I was struggling with because I was thinking NK have changed their manager twice, but then my brain was going that shouldn't mean that. Well, I suppose technically 3 times, but I was then thinking no, that only counts as one club, but it's more
correct.
names. Yeah, bizarre.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's strange, isn't it? When you think about it, that many teams have. I mean, obviously Preston changed theirs after 2 days, and
Yeah.
then you've got a number. But I'm guessing that a lot more will go as the season kind of peters out anyway. So Jordan, our fourth winner and top scorer so far, with 14. So well done, Jordan. Well done to you both.
Thank
Have
you.
a little chat now about your clubs before we sign off, and I'll let you go. Newport, I guess we start with you, Kieran, because as of today, you're a managerless Newport or head coachless Newport. Before we came on air, you sort of clapped a little bit and said, "Yeah, he's gone." What's the general feeling amongst Newport fans? Is it one of amicable? Is it you've done your job, thank you, and we wish you well, or
You know what? You couldn't have worded it better than how you just did. You've done your job. Thanks. Wish you well. Out the door, kind of thing. I'll give him. I've given him a lot of stick, and I'll be the first to admit it because there have been times where I have questioned the football that's been played and the on the pitch stuff with how we went around transfers this season and all that stuff. But given he is native to Portugal, his family live in Portugal, the fact that he's come here with new ownership, nearly an entirely new team, an entirely new, if you want to say, buzz around the club in a way. The fact that he's been able to take that inexperienced group specifically and get them safe, albeit cutting it close at times, maybe a bit lucky to have purple patches here and there. The fact that he's done that, even he said in his interview afterwards, he feels like that's job done. Getting this club to stay in the Football League, giving those inexperienced players vital League Two experience in preparation then for us to have plenty of time to find a new head coach manager. Still don't know the difference between the two of them. I think one of them deal with signings, the other one doesn't. But yeah, I think the overall consensus was probably right time. I think that the bare minimum was safety in the division. We've got that now. He can go, move back to Portugal with his family before continuing his coaching in whatever way he sees fit. But yeah, I wish him all the best. Nothing
yeah,
against him. It's just football was too similar to Man City for my liking, truth be told.
Just without the results a lot of the time as well.
Yeah, without the results and without all the players.
Yeah. So it gives you time now. You mentioned time there. It gives you now time to sort of assess where you're going to be ahead of next season. It's always quite exciting, isn't it, when there's a vacancy at your club and names go around and you start looking at who's available. What sort of manager slash head coach do you need for next season? And if so, who's gonna fill the void?
Well, this is something that I wanted even before Nelson Jardine was appointed. I think if you've got those inexperienced bunch of players, you want an experienced manager to, at least have that balance within there. I think it was very risky to, I suppose, have both inexperience. That was a big risk in itself. Like, I've seen a lot of people say Cameron Toshak, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. We were linked to him last summer, but it never finalised. We were linked to the likes of Gary Monk and whatnot last season as well. I'm hearing a few people ask for Michael Flynn back, which, given the fact that apparently every single Cheltenham fan on the planet wants his head right now, is, I suppose, fitting in a way. But one name, and this was off of a website where they do all their odds stuff, and they just say, who's supposedly the front runner. And I would love this appointment if it was to happen. I think it's so far unrealistic, but I would love it. Michael Duff was the name that was put at the top of the list. Don't think it would happen, but someone within his profile of plenty of experience and promotions, maybe doesn't suit the old Swansea way of football of the fast, short passing, but someone within that profile of experience and CV would be quite nice.
But he knows how to get out of the league, doesn't he? And goes on to my next question, which is going to be, what does good look like for Newport? Like you say about transition periods and about staying afloat this year. You don't want to run before you walk, but what's the ambition for next? Or does it depend on who you get in to see what the ambition is for next season?
It's difficult to answer that because part of me says, yeah, it probably depends. If we get another inexperienced coach in, you maybe feel you're back to step one again. But I partly feel that's not what Hugh Jenkins wants to do. I think he literally wanted Jardine in to get those players settled and used to League Two football, and I think he's done that while trying to adopt, I suppose, a style that he wants. So I remember in pre-season when all the players were joining, they were all talking about wanting promotion and being up to the top of the league, which is so ironic watching it all now. To be honest with you, this sounds really cliche and this is probably the most boring answer I can give you, but just an improvement on this season. I just want, you just want to see that gradual improvement. It doesn't have to go from, let's say we finished 19th this season. It doesn't have to be 19th to first. Just knowing that this the patience of allowing these players to settle in is reaping rewards. That's kind of what I'd like to see.
Okay, cool. And Jordan, then on to Grimsby Town. There's still obviously a lot to play for, as far as you're concerned. You're currently in the top 7. I watched your show a little while back with the 4T Fever, and you were making your predictions, weren't you, for the playoffs? And you were in there, and you went for Wimbledon. Was it Doncaster and Notts County as well? Do you still stick by that, or?
Sort of. I'd like to think so. Look, it's just the unpredictability of League Two this season that I think that we've sort of, it's just been chaotic, isn't it? I think you probably see, one team has a bad result, but you look at the teams around them, and you see that they've slipped up as well. So really, you've not really lost any ground, sort of stuff. That's sort of been similar with us. Look, I love the fact we're in this position, 2 games to go. I would have absolutely snapped your hand off for this at the start of the season. It certainly made a nice change from last season as to how poor it was, and some of the performances were dire. In which for a part of it, we could have lost our EFL status again, and that would have been disastrous for the club. But I think you've got to give credit where credit's due to David Artell. He's built a squad of, I say footballers. I think, we've been all season long, we've been trying to play the right way, compared to maybe other teams in which, there's been quite a few in which you know what they're about, physical, strong sides. Probably expect it in League Two. We try and play it on the floor a bit more, and I'd probably say that we've improved as the season has gone along. We've got a very young squad, probably not as young as someone like Newport's, but there's a good blend in that team, and they've just got better as they've gone on. Even with the amount of injuries as well that we've had, I think is a real credit to Artel and the players. At the fact, 2 games to go. We're in that last playoff spot. It's currently in our own hands, and 2 wins from that guarantees us a top 7 finish. So it's all to play for us still. And this is quite different to what I'm normally known as, being in League Two. I think I mentioned I did the pod yesterday, and all I've seen Grimsby have been sort of mid-table struggling in League Two and top end of the National League trying to get out for it. And this has been a long time coming for certainly the fans as well. I know there's been fans that have been about, older than me, but, the best I've seen us finish in League Two is 11th, and that was a couple of years ago when we first came back. So this is very much uncharted territory for me, but a little bit wary of some of the teams, but I love the fact we've got this problem. It just makes a very, very nice change, and, we've had a brilliant season on the whole. Whatever happens, if we miss out, so be it. But yeah, I'm just embracing it, to be honest. It's been a ride.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned some of the teams there. I've got some of the last 7 games here. So 3 wins out of 7 for Grimsby Town so far. That's a joint best form. With Salford and Chesterfield just on the outside of it. You've got Notts, Colchester, Bradford 1, 2 in 7, 1 win in 7 for Wimbledon and Crewe, and no wins in 12 for Walsall. So it shows, doesn't it, how no teams really grabbing the ball by the horns, are they, and going, we want this. It's really up for each team to be in charge of their own destiny. Obviously, you play MK Dons and Wimbledon in the last 2 games, and neither of those teams were in good form. We played them both recently and beat them both 1-0. So if we can do it, you guys definitely can. But everyone there is kind of wary, aren't they, of who's around them. And as long as you do right by yourself and stay in that top 7, is there a team that you want to avoid in the playoffs if you get there?
I think if we just get into the playoffs, I've always been one. It's the fact that I never expected us to be in this position in the first place. Nowhere near it, in fact. I'd have been very happy with, a mid-table finish, very much an improvement from last season. I'd have been more than content with that, as long as we saw, some good passages of play. You could see that we was on the right path. I think we've sort of gone. I think the growth has accelerated to what we have done. It is a good problem to have. I look at the top 7. I look at the teams in the playoffs at the minute. I don't. I'm trying to think back to our last playoff campaign, where in the National League, where we finished 6th, beat Notts County with that late goal in the 190th minute. Then we had that thriller at Wrexham, as quite a lot of might remember. And then we went on and beat Solihull, all 3 of those games late. And again, I didn't expect us to go up at those games, and it'll be the same if we make the playoffs. I think currently Walsall are 4th, aren't they? I think they're probably the team you want to play at the minute with how poor they've been at the minute. They seem to be a little bit of a downward trajectory with 2 games to go, and I think if they make the playoffs, I think they'll be shot of confidence. I don't think Wimbledon are by no means safe. I think they've been on edge for a little bit, and I said yesterday I wasn't really that convinced with them, truth be told. We have beaten them already this season, but you can see why they've got results. I think probably the only thing with Notts County at the minute is the fact that we've lost to them on both occasions. I think the 4-1 defeat there, I'm trying to ignore that because there were circumstances in that game in which I was not going to get to. But and then maybe when we lost to them 2-0 at Blundell Park, we had a very depleted squad that time, and we sort of just ran on empty. In terms of fitness levels with that. I mean, we had a couple of academy kids on the bench. They had David McGoldrick, and he came on and scored that goal. So it's not really much comparison there. But look, if we get into playoffs, it's great. It's fantastic. Let's just take it and just see where it gets us. If we win, let's say we win the semi-finals, go to Wembley, great. If of course we win that, fantastic. We're in League One next season. if we lose to whoever it is, I mean, you do look at the teams below as well. The fact that Colchester, Salford, I know those two play each other. Chesterfield, I think, certainly one to look out with their 2 games coming up, in which I think they've got a real good chance actually of making that top 7. We'll just take it as it is. If it's not enough, it's not enough. But I know that we'll be ready to go again next season. I think the progress that we have done, it's what I'd expect for us to at least challenge for another top 7 spot. I just expect us just to get better and better from here on in. And that's the sort of caliber that David Artell is and what he likes to do with teams, as we've seen it with Crewe in the past, how it took him a little bit of time for him to build there, to eventually get them up into League One. And then after that, the season after, eventually finish 12th in League One. I think we'll get there. Whether it'll be this season remains to be seen because 2 massive games. But I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to keep my feet firmly on the ground at the minute. We know that.
One at a time, yeah.
Yeah, because we've had a couple of results recently. I mean, in our last 3 games, 2 of them we've blown 2-goal leads in it quite late on. So there it may be a little bit of an element that maybe some players are tiring. Maybe I'm not sure what that's done for confidence. We'll have to see at MK on Saturday, backed by a big away following. But yeah, let's just see where it takes us. Like I said, I'm just enjoying this ride. It's been good fun and something that I've not seen.
The pressure's on for the playoffs, but there was no pressure on Jordan tonight, who managed to overcome Keiron by 14 points to, what was it? You said it was 9.
I tell you, and I'm now realizing this, and I had to think about this while you were saying it. My comment on Shanka Zimba, he played the season before that season you were mentioning, and I clocked on to that. You know, literally while you were thinking about that, I was thinking, when did Shanka Zimba play? That was the season before.
But doesn't it show how sometimes lone players can pass you by? You get so many, don't you, in a season? And
that's the bizarre thing, though, because I have such a vague memory of Callum Kavanagh playing for Newport. Like like you mentioned it, and immediately I knew. Yeah, he played for Newport, but I didn't think he played that many games. Yeah, So I've fumbled under pressure here, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I should be getting all those right. Shocking.
Well, thanks both for coming on, and best of luck with the 4th tier theme for the rest of the season. Hopefully, what happens if you go up, Jordan? Do you resign your post? Or?
Yeah, we sack him.
I'm getting sacked. The honest answer is I don't know. We'll have to see what happens there first, and then I think it'll probably be me that makes that decision. So,
I see.
We'll have to see.
Well, for the benefit of the pod, hope you don't go up then. But for yourselves, without showing any bias, best of luck in the playoffs. Hope it is playoffs first and foremost, and obviously if it comes to it, hope at least you get a day out of Wembley to enjoy, to round off your season. And Keiron, we'll see you next season. Keiron did inform me that before we went live that we've never beaten Newport in the EFL. So next season maybe
I just thought I'd remind you. But you know what? New era at Gillingham, maybe it'll happen.
We've had new eras. We've had 3 new eras already.
Yeah, you've had about good point.
We'll see how that goes. Guys, cheers for coming on. Appreciate your time today. I'll get this video out tomorrow, and then if you could share that with your fellow EFL stalwarts, I'd appreciate it. Thank you guys for your time, and all the best for the rest of the season.
Cheers, mate.